Rockstar has posted on their website several screenshots and details about the characters and story that we're gonna take a look at in this video. We're getting right into it, and it starts with these words. This tells us a lot about how the story begins and what is the setup to the story. Reading for you is kind of pointless, so if you want to read, pause the video. I will tell you guys what I think of these words, and you guys let me know if you agree or not. So I assume Jason and Lucia already know each other and they're in a score, but it goes wrong. So Lucia gets arrested and Jason probably has to get in touch with really bad people to try and get Lucia out of jail, and this is where the problems begin. Then we get a brief history of Jason, and it mentions that he grew up around crooks. He got into the army to shake off his troubled teens, but had a stint there, so he probably got out and had to make ends meet, and things were getting harder. And it's the reason he turns to crime. This happens a lot to people, even in real life. Then we have a bunch of screenshots. I'm only gonna show the ones I like the most. I think he's objectively a pretty good looking guy. No homo. Then there's a part that mentions meeting Lucia could be the best or worst thing to ever happen to Jason. This might mean that we're gonna be able to determine how the story ends, depending on our choices. And next, we have Lucia. She was taught how to fight from a young age. Fighting for her family could mean a lot of things. It could be either a life of crime, like I said, maybe it's a heist that goes wrong and she ends up there, or maybe she gets arrested for beating someone up. Then we have more screenshots of her. She looks really pretty, in my opinion. The screenshot with her on the bike, really badass. One interesting thing, she's from Liberty City. There was a lot of speculation that she could be related to Luis Lopez because of his sister. So if that's actually true, I would really like to see a Luis cameo in GTA 6. It mentions Lucia is committed to her plan no matter what it takes. So this could tie into the ending, and maybe if one of the options is to kill Jason if she has to, maybe she really will. Of course, depending on how you do the story. Then there's this funny looking guy, Carl Hampton. His description is funny because he seems to be an odd combination of Lester and Ron. Because feeling safest at home, spying on Coast Guard communications with private tabs open sounds a lot like Lester, but he's also paranoid like Ron and asking things like, what if everything on the internet was true? You'll probably see what I mean. He might end up being my favorite supporting character. We move on to Booby Ike. He seems to be the owner of Jack of Hearts strip club. He has this whole drug thing behind the scenes, and I think we'll do a couple missions for him, but there's not much else to talk about him really. The details on his character look insane. I will go a lot to the strip club, but not to see his face. Wink wink. Then there's Draquan Priest. He seems to be just your typical gangster rapper wannabe. Seems to be involved with Booby Ike. I think we might be able to influence if he succeeds or not in the story, but we'll see. Then we have Real Dimes. They seem to be just your typical bimbo influencers. I think they will just be mostly linked to the social media aspect of the game. Maybe we'll see funny moments in podcasts and hear funny stuff on the radio about them or with them, but they could also be important to advertise businesses owned by the player. And then we get this guy, Raul Bautista. Mentions that he's already a seasoned bank robber on the hunt for talent, willing to take risks for big rewards. He kinda reminds me of Dutch here. He also has that antagonist vibe to him. Especially when you read, life is full of surprises, my friend. I think we'd all be wise to remember that. I think that could hint at a possible betrayal on his part. Maybe in one of the heists he's gonna abandon our main characters or set them up. His face really screams greed. And if you read this part here, he's reckless and the stakes go up in every heist. And eventually you're gonna have to go all in or dip. This type of situation definitely smells like trouble, because going all in could get our characters killed or arrested, or he's gonna seek revenge if our characters dip. Because imagine he has this big heist planned and the characters decide to dip and he just becomes resentful. Much like Pegorino went after Nico for refusing to make a deal with Dimitri in GTA 4. And finally we get to Brian, who's a classic drug runner from the golden age of smuggling in the Keys. So this guy has probably been smuggling things ever since the Tommy Vercetti era in the 80s, and the old man is still going strong. Although we can't say the same about his past relationships. Anyways, that's it for this video guys. I'm excited about interacting with these characters when the game releases. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments and I'll see you guys on the next one.